Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Good evening to everyone, and welcome to IBM Z Day. Really excited to be here and sharing stage with a couple of amazing youngsters who are, teaming up with us here to bring IBM Z to students around the world, and I mean it, around the world. So my name is Sudarshana Srinivasan. I am an IBM Z Advocacy Program Manager at IBM. So, in my role, I really enjoy bringing IBM Z to students, to our global developer community through programs such as, hackathons, datathons, events, and of course, our amazing signature event. Here we are today, IBM Z Day. So, without further ado, I will let Abhi and Komal introduce themselves and we'll kick off this session.
Hi everyone. So I am Abhi Saxena and I'm based out of Mumbai, India, and I lead innovation at Shooting Stars Foundation. We'll talk more about it in the presentation today. And like Sudarshana, I too work on technology and very excited to meet you all.
Hey everyone, I'm Komal, currently a final year computer science engineering student from Chandigarh University, India. I love all things about computer networking, debugging, and narrowing down to the why of a problem. I recently been interested by the world of cloud computing and trying my hands on the same. Outside of this technical world, I really love sharing my skills forward in whatever ways I can, and I've been doing just the same under my role as an IBM Z ambassador. I'm launching the first ever Z student community in my university named Z Student CU, through which we'll be focusing on connecting young students to industry experts, industry leaders, IBMers, so that they can get their doubts answered directly by them. So yeah, pretty excited for today's event and can't wait to show or introduce IBM Z Xplore to you all.
So as you can see, now why I'm so excited to be sharing stage with both Abhi and Komal. We have some superstars here. Thank you, Komal, for being an amazing Z ambassador. She's been a busy speaker here at IBM Z Day, if I might add. So look forward to the presentation that you will be sharing soon. Abhi, I will let you
Perfect.
kick it off.
Perfect. So we have a few slides to cover today, and let me take you quickly through the agenda. Right? So today we are going to we'll be discussing what is enterprise computing, and then we'll be taking a look at Shooting Stars Foundation. You must have heard from us through emails, through Discord groups, and this is the foundation, and we have partnered with IBM to organize this session and the hackathon. Then we'll also be covering IBM Z Xplore. So it is where you learn how the IBM Z technology really works, and will give you a good introduction to for you to learn on it. We also have a Kahoot quiz. There are prizes on it, so to make sure that you stay till the end so that you can participate in the quiz and win win the prizes. On the prizes today, we have an interesting set of prizes. There are five prizes based on the Kahoot quiz, right? So the Kahoot quiz is based on whatever we discussed today. So make sure that you take notes, you understand what is. If you have questions, do ask us in the chat, and we'll try to respond to them. There are prizes based on the rankings of the Kahoot results. The second set of prizes is we have three students. What you have to do is, if you whatever you learn tonight, right, you'll have to go and submit a blog on IBMG's Student Hub, right? And you then have to share this blog on LinkedIn, tag Shooting Stars Foundation, tag IBMZ Day, and we'll select three random winners and send you your gift cards.
Exciting, super exciting. Obviously, that means you have to pay attention for the next 90 minutes. There will be a lot of information coming at you. And Abhi, I love that you said, take notes. That's a great idea.
Yes.
Okay, so that said, let me start with a simple question, right, to all of our participants here today. We've been talking about, you saw the IBM Z Day logo in the opening slide. So how many of you think that you've used an IBM Z? It's a quick yes or no poll. So just quickly type in yes, I have, no, I haven't, maybe, I'm not sure, whatever. I'm just looking here in my other screen for some responses. So, how many of you think you have used an IBM Z anytime in your life? We have a very quiet audience, is it? Okay. So how about, okay, so, oh, lots of no's coming in now. Maybe not sure. Awesome. Yes, I have. I love that. I love that confidence. Okay. Lots of no's. Yes. Okay. So I have some follow on questions. So keep your hands ready on those yes or no keys. Okay. So, how many of you have recently gone and withdrawn cash at an ATM or from a bank teller? Okay, right? You've used an ATM card and withdrawn some cash. That's good. How about making an online purchase? You know, it's the COVID times. I think all of us have been shopping online. It's become the norm. Going to a store is a time of the past. Hopefully, we'll be back to it. Yes. But a lot of us have, yes, lots of yeses. Awesome. So you've done online shopping. Um, some of you probably have booked an airline ticket and checked in to an airline, perhaps. Um, yes, a lot of yeses coming still. I'm really excited. This is the best part of this whole presentation that I do when I talk to students and share this technology, right? Um, Excellent. So if you said yes to any one of my questions about using a bank, online shopping, or a flight, guess what? Everyone who thought you haven't used an IBM Z, all of you just used an IBM Z. And that's what we'll talk about here more today. Okay? Every one of us uses an IBM Z some point in our daily lives. And it's just amazing how it quietly, in the behind, back end, runs the world's economy reliably. And when I say behind, I literally have a little IBM Z banner here behind. That's our newest IBM Z 15, by the way, that launched back in 2019, right? Okay, Avi, can we go to the next slide, please?
Absolutely.
So let's talk about a few more numbers, right? We think about 1 second and how much can happen in 1 second. There are lots of things that happen in 1 second. We tweet, we do snap photos, and the whole world seems like is always doing Google searches. But guess what? All of that is the numbers you see here. But when we talk about IBM Z transactions in 1 second, we're talking 1,157,407 transactions in 1 second. You want to keep that number, okay? I won't give away anymore. But that's the scale we're talking about in terms of transactions in 1 second. When we hit that, buy on an online transaction and you get the okay, your order is placed in less than a second, that's because these transactions are happening in milliseconds. I think that's the next slide, please. Avi? So we go back to, how IBM Z touches our everyday lives, right? It is the backbone of world's leading businesses. Here are some numbers. You can read them on the chart. We're talking airlines, banks, retailers. Here's the deal. 2/3 of the Fortune 100 companies rely on an IBM Z in the back end. They use this technology. They are on this platform. And I said 2/3 of Fortune 100. So when you translate these numbers from a student's point of view, and we'll get to that as well, that translates to career opportunities, right? And this is where Komal will show you how you can get started in your learning journey to get comfortable, get familiar, get used to this platform, and then that adds as an amazing bullet on your resume saying you bring the skills to the table. And guess what? These companies will notice it. These badges that you will earn through the program that Komal will be talking about, our industry recognized. Our clients, our customers know what those badges mean. They'll come find you if you show it off on social media, on your resume. So keep these things in the back of your mind as we go through the presentation today and as you work through the demo with Komal. I hope all of you will actually log on and follow along with Komal. She is amazing. She'll go at a really good pace and help you through as well. All right, next slide, Avi. So we talked about an online transaction and how that happens in a few milliseconds, right? All of you said yes, resounding yes for online purchases. So we start with, the point of sale as, imagine a device in your hand or your laptop that you're using to do an online shopping. You find the product that you absolutely love, you want to buy it, you put it in your cart, give it all the information, your credit card, and you hit send on it. So until that point, if you can tab in again, Abhi, until that point, you're in your sort of LAN or in your network, right? You hit buy, and that's when you then end up on the vendor's, or whoever was the website you were shopping on, right? That vendor's cloud network. It might be IBM Cloud. Then you're using and leveraging. They're using and leveraging cloud applications there and running your request. You have credit card information there. So obviously, the bank now needs to verify that you are who you say you are. You do have the balance for being able to pay for this. And all of that has to, when you go back and you see that little IBM Z sitting in the back there, that is where that data exchange, right? That is where that data is processed to ensure that this is not a fraudulent transaction, to ensure that this is a good transaction and it can go through and you can say, yes, your purchase is being confirmed. So that whole process, and one more tab, and that whole process is underpinned by security along the way. Because this is, data that is highly sensitive. You cannot have any exposure here. So it is all a very highly secure transaction. So that's what we call IBM Z as always open, on, secure. I hope you caught that on our tagline for IBM Z Day. So that is something we are always proud of. Open because, IBM Z has a product also called IBM Linux One. And that is the open source version of IBM Z. So what that is it runs the Linux operating system. So by definition, it is completely open source. So if you're already familiar with some tools that run on other open source platforms, you could come on a Linux One, you can design, you can develop your product and run it. Absolutely no difference whatsoever. So that underlying architecture, you become platform agnostic, right? You don't have to worry about the architecture that is underlying. Just for your information, IBM Z runs the S390 architecture. So that's the underlying architecture. Just like, maybe at school you use an x86 server, right, for your labs and things like that. Similarly, IBM Z is an S390 architecture. But my point with being open is that you don't have to worry about that underlying architecture. You bring the tools you're familiar with, you bring the product that you've already designed and developed, and you get to deploy it. So it's all about that build once, deploy anywhere, right? Okay, I think we can move to the next slide. So here's where the demand is for IBM Z and Z skills. I touched a little upon this. I won't read out all of the stats over here, but the one thing that I always like to point out to students is that 67% have majority of their data on mainframe. So if you're thinking, cutting edge technology, machine learning and AI, and you want to be in those places, what better platform to be on than, an IBM Z? Because that's where the data is. And if you're a data science student, you will nod your head along and agree with me. You want to be where the data is. You want to be close to the data when you're working with it for latency reasons, right? So IBM Z, by definition, again, becomes a really good platform for you to be working on machine learning and AI kind of technology and projects. All right. One last slide, I believe, which is to get students further excited about an enterprise computing career. In 2019, IBM commissioned a study with Forrester, and this was, polling students about pursuing careers in technology, and five primary things were important to students. Salary topped it, no surprise there. A good work life balance, again, no surprise there, right? Ability to make a social impact, right? Working on something that matters, working on something that will make a difference in the world, and working on really cutting edge technologies, and job security. That was a big thing for students. So, all across all of these five primary areas, enterprise computing outperforms other IT roles, right? So, something again for students to keep in mind. All right. I'm going to pause here and let Abhi take it away, talk a little about Shooting Stars. We're really excited for Shooting Stars to be teaming with us and collaborating with us here. We have an exciting event, IBM Z Datathon, coming up. So take it away, Abhi.
Thank you, Sudarshana. I think that was an excellent introduction to IBM Z. Let me move to the next slide. So, Shooting Stars Foundation. Let me talk a little more about it. So, it's a non-profit based out of US, and what we are trying to do over here is break the cycle of poverty through STEM education, right? And this is our mission, this is our motto, and this is what we live by. And we do this through three main uh, ways. One of them is educate, right, and which is basically organizing all these STEM education programs, making sure that STEM is accessible to most and to all, or at least the most, right? And the second way is STEM college scholarships, right? So this is also, we are currently supporting about 450 students across the world, and we help them with supporting sponsoring their bachelors, sponsoring their masters, helping them prep for their college placements, give them all the guidance that they need, so that when they step into the professional world, they are all ready for it, right? And the third and the most important thing is to enable students, right? And we do it through a lot of mentorship, a lot of guiding sessions. We every few months we have these career sessions where we help guide students to understand how can they move ahead in their career. IBM Z is one technology that can definitely help you move ahead in your careers, and we what we work is to help you succeed in the long term. So this was about Shooting Stars Foundation. We are working with IBM on this hackathon, and also wanted to share a few details about the hackathon before we pass on the baton to Komal, and she can take you through the IBM Z Explore. So on 25th we have a datathon, right? And it's a data science hackathon. You must use the IBM Z technology to develop your solutions in the hackathon. The theme for the hackathon is technology for good. So again, wear your creative hats. Think what problems you're seeing today in the world. How can you make this world a better place for all? And show us your solutions. What is great is we also have mentors and experts from IBM, right? So if you have any questions, any doubts, and if you want to learn more about IBM Z, if you have some data science questions or anything, you'll have the support that is needed. You can access the mentors on the Discord group. We'll be adding them in a few days, and they'll also be available throughout the hackathon. So you'll have access to the best in the world, right? And not the least, but and in fact the best part of it, there are also prizes to this hackathon, right? So they are about the prizes are worth $30,000. It comprises of cash prizes and also credits access to the IBM Z platform, so you can work on it. And now I would like to pass to Koval. She would like to take you through the IBM Z Explore.
Yeah. Now let's explore IBM Z Explore, another IBM Z student initiative. So Darshna, you were saying something? Okay. So let me share my screen. Let me know when my screen is up and you can see it. Is it yet?
We can, yes.
All right. So IBM Z Xplore is a learning platform to learn, everything about IBM Z, and what goes on behind our everyday activities. Just like Sudarshana talked about enterprise computing, so this is the one platform to learn those skills and get started. Now, I assume most of you must haven't signed up on this platform. So if we go at the bottom, you'll see a link. You will see a question, need an account, sign up. Click on that. Here we'll go through the registration process. All you need is your email ID. You need to fill your name and create a password for this account. So I'll fill in my email ID.
So Komal, as you are putting in your information, let's also give the students a few minutes to get the link and hop on so they could sort of
Yeah.
follow along with you. But
Can you please
yeah,
paste the link to this platform in the
yeah,
chat?
yep. The students have it now. I see it here on the chat. So if everybody's wondering why I keep looking to my right, I'm looking at the chat window as well. I have two screens going here. So yeah, while students also log in and get ready to be on this platform and learning platform with you, IBM Z Xplore is our new learning platform, our learning opportunity for anyone who's interested and wants to know what is IBM Z or how does it work or what is it all about. It's a platform for just about anyone, everyone who's interested to come hop on and try out these challenges. And that's exactly what Komal is going to be introducing you to. What it also has is a little gaming app, which we will soon be launching. It's called the Hour of Z. And when it's ready and it's available, you'll hear more about it. And so stay tuned on that IBM Z Global Student Hub that Abhi mentioned earlier on, right? So you'll hear about the game launch. You can play a nice, fun game as well to, as a nice introduction. And then Z Explore becomes that next level up in terms of diving just a little deeper and getting a little more technical on you. So this is a great way to go through those challenges. And we'll talk more about the various levels and such as Komal is walking through IBM Z Explore. I just want to also add that finally there is something called the IBM Z Student Contest, powered by IBM Z Explore, right? So you do all of these challenges here. It really prepares you, gets you ready. And in October, for a month, there's a contest that you can sign up for, and that's being run by Hacker Earth, sponsored by IBM. And as I said, it's powered by IBM Z Explore. So if you log on here today, follow along with Komal and get started. You're getting a head start. Just saying. All right. Back
Definitely.
to you, Komal.
Yeah. So once you fill all your details, email ID, name, and your password, and you click on create account, this is what you will see next. Read through the terms and conditions for IBM Z Explore, and then this is what we need to do next. Confirm that you are 18 years of age or older, and you have read and accept the privacy notice. Then click on accept. So this is an official welcome to the IBM Z Explore platform. Let's click on this challenge card and see what's in here next. We are happy to have you here and excited that you will be joining our IBM Z community. Let's get started by completing your first challenge. Exciting. So we are going to be doing our first challenge. Let's see. It's a few of the questions about myself. I am a student. I attend Chandigarh University. How did you hear about the IBM Z Xplore? I heard about it because I participated last year in Master the Mainframe. Go through the rest of the options and mark complete. That was it. That was the first challenge, and we already earned 25 points for completing this stage. I'm sure it gets a little tougher in the coming challenges. This was just to get us started and get the feel of the platform. So, you have completed your first challenge. That wasn't too bad, right? Now we are ready to dive into the IBM Z Xplore learning platform to understand more about the fundamentals and concepts that make up the IBM Z mainframe. So we are finally in the platform IBM Z Xplore, and as you can see here, there's a roadmap, fundamentals that goes to next to concepts and advanced. These are the various levels of the learning platform. Within the fundamentals level, there will be certain challenges inside it, and once we have completed the fundamentals challenge, then we'll move on to the concepts and then advanced. As of now, only the fundamentals challenges available and clickable, not the concepts and advanced one, because we haven't yet touched upon the fundamentals challenge. And here is the student contest that Sudarshana mentioned, IBM Z Student Contest. It will kick off on 15th of October and run for 1 month till 16th of November, I guess. So if I talk about the interface of the learning platform and let's explore it together, here is where we can see the points earned so far, 25 points for the first challenge that we completed. Now, the most important thing and the most thing that you will be using throughout the learning platform is this forum. So what to do when you are stuck, what to do when you face an error during completing these challenges, because you'll probably be facing some errors if you are new to the learning platform. So there's this discussion forum where you can get answers to your questions as soon as possible you face the error. First of all, go through the already started discussions and see if your question has already been answered. If no, you have the option to start a new discussion. This is where you can talk about the error you are facing and everything that you have inside your machine or the challenges that you're going through. And then you can click on create topic. That's where you will get answers from the IBM Z Xplore moderators about what you need to do next and the solutions to your errors. So let's go over the learn page. This is where we'll have all the challenges available, pending approval, completed, and as this sound available. Sorry, Sudarshana, are you saying something or is it my voice echoing? Maybe it's not this. Okay, so as we see, available in the available challenges, here the challenges that are initially available, we'll see them. And pending approval, if there's any challenge that needs approval from the moderators, it will be in the pending approval tab, and completed. Once you complete any challenge, it will go under this tab. Now let's see what's available. Fundamentals challenges are available for us to dive in. So here we are within the fundamentals challenge, and there are 7 challenges inside it. VSC1, files, JCL1, USS, code, Rex1, and wrap up. Don't be afraid or scared if you don't know any of this, because even I don't know any of this properly. I'm also going to be exploring it with you today. So don't be scared and run away that, no, this is not something for me and I won't be able to do it. That's why we are here for you and making it easier to get started. So available challenges VSC1 since it's the first challenge for us to tackle. Let's click on VSC1. So this is the most important thing you need to save, your ZID and your Z password. This will be different for you, so make sure to note yours and don't use mine. Let me note my ZID since we'll be using it throughout the challenges. So let's go over what this challenge has for us. Before we can begin learning about files, JCL, USS and more, we need to make sure you are equipped with the right tools to be successful. For this contest, you will be communicating directly with the logical partition on one of those fancy Z15 machines. So the same as the one Sudarshana has in the background, we'll be interacting with that machine and having a partition for ourselves. In other words, you get a piece of Z15 all to yourself. We want you to be able to learn as much as you want on this platform, and you deserve to play on a real system. I mean, how many times do you get to play on a real system in such an amazing learning platform? So, to complete this challenge, you need to save your login information, and through this challenge, we'll be basically setting up our setup to make sure that we have a smooth experience throughout this learning platform. In this challenge, you will download and install VS Code and Node.js, log in with your ZID and set up the system like I said. Submit a file as your final check. View the challenge PDF on the next page. Complete the steps 1 to 12. So we have a challenge PDF here with instructions on what to do next. Click on it and you will have the PDF downloaded, just like we have it here.
So Komal, if I could just point out over here, right, with the PDF, this year we do have an option where the PDF actually embeds, so you don't have to download it as a separate file. So you could, I think in this case it didn't quite work, but I think for the next challenge somehow that embedded PDF feature works. I just want to call that out. That was a new feature added this year to the IBM Z Xplore learning opportunity. So it's all right there in that window, and all you have to do is follow the instructions. But yes, go along.
Yep. Maybe it's this interface like we see here, but because of my network or something, it isn't showing here properly. Can be the reason. So no issues. Let's go with the downloaded one.
All right.
So
couple students are saying ZID and password not visible. Can you go back to that VSC1 challenge where you can actually see it so they can follow along?
definitely yes. It will be available here. Yeah. At the top right, PDF reference ZID, Z password. This is where you'll have your ZID and your Z password. Just right after you open the VSC1 challenge, at the top right corner, here's where you'll see.
Can I get some thumbs up or yeses from our students? If you see it, that would be good. Thank you, Komal.
It's actually great to know they are following along with me. Okay. So VSC1 challenge is all about getting yourself connected. It's time to download, equip, and authenticate. First step is to load up the downloads. Download VS Code and Node.js from the following links. So you'll have the links in the PDF just as I have to download Node.js and VS Code, both of them. For both downloads, you will probably be automatically directed to the correct version that you should get. Install VS Code, install Node.js. Since for the purpose of demonstration to save the time and avoid any last minute network errors, I have downloaded VS Code already. But you can take your time to download it if you don't have it already. That's all right. Make sure you download VS Code properly and Node.js from the links that are given in the PDF. Once you have it downloaded, open it and then we'll see what we need to do next. Let me open VS Code as well. It's not up yet. Download VS Code and we need an editor, that's IBM Z Open Editor, to perform the further challenges. Once you have the VS Code downloaded, maybe Sudarshana, we should wait a few minutes for the students to download VS Code. What do you say?
Yeah, no, actually keep going, we are recording these sessions, so students will have the recordings to come back and follow along with you from the point that, when they get all these downloads in place. Like you said, everybody's network and things are different, so we'll just give them time to download at their own pace. Yeah?
Okay. So once you download VS Code, the next thing we need to download is IBM Z Open Editor, like I said. Once you open VS Code, there you'll see these icons in the left, and you need to click on this one where you can install and uninstall extensions. We need the IBM Z Open Editor to do our work. So let's search it, and it's here right at the top. Now, since I have installed it already, the options I see here is disable, uninstall, but for you, here the option will be install. Click on that one and it will be installed in just a few minutes. Doesn't take much of the time. Once you're finished installing.
Sorry, Komal, I was saying, by the way, it's very interesting to know that we have a custom IBM Z editor.
Exactly, just for this challenge and to connect to the Z15 machine. It actually provides support for all of the languages, COBOL and etc. So that's really great to know. So it's Zoe. It's called Zoe. Once you have downloaded it, you'll see at the bottom of the icons, Zoe. Let's see what we need to do next. So we have installed VS Code, we have Node.js, we have the IBM Z Open Editor. Now it's time to check out Zoe. IBM Z Open Editor is useful for editing files specific to the Z platform, and it uses a Z Xplore extension to handle its connection to the Z system. The new icon you see in your sidebar, it's this one, Zoe, is how you get to the Zoe Explorer. Get familiar with that icon. You will be seeing a lot of it throughout these challenges. The sixth step is to create your profile. Click on the Zoe icon to launch the Zoe Explorer view. As you can see, there is an editor area to your right and 3 sections on the left. So this is the editor area that we have, and 3 sections here: datasets, Unix system services, and jobs. Click the plus sign next to datasets up top. So when we hover over datasets, we see a plus sign. Let's click on it. And we have an option to create a new connection to the ZOS system. We'll give you the info you need to profile in step 7. Let's create a new connection. Select the create a new connection to ZOS option that comes up. Give the connection a name. So I'm going with Z Xplore 2021. You can name it anything you want. Then press enter. We have the options for the profile types: ZOS, MF, and RSE. Let's see what the PDF advises us to do. Select that you would like a ZOMS profile type, then unless otherwise directed, use the following URL. So we'll go with ZOSMF. We need to enter a URL next to get connected to the ZOS machine. The URL is given in the PDF. Just copy and paste it in the window, this window, and press enter. Next, we need to provide username. Here is where your Z ID and your password comes into play. Make sure to put in your user ID. That's how you will get connected to the COS system successfully. And in your user ID, you will see Z, and then there will be numbers. It's not a O, it's 00. So make sure you put that correctly. Then put your password.
Komal, couple questions have come up, and so I thought we'll take a quick pause here and respond. So one question is X15 a supercomputer? I guess you're asking Z15. No, Z15 is not a supercomputer. IBM Z is what we call transaction processing machine. It's a beast in that sense, right? What we talked about online transactions, your online shopping, you're talking about bank transactions. It is what you do where you get transactions in milliseconds. And we went through one specific, what we call a transaction as well, right? So that's what IBM Z is really good at. It is good at scaling up and doing those type of transactions type operations. What is COBOL? Thank you for responding. Yes, it is a programming language. It stands for Common Business Oriented Language. And it's about 60 years old. It was invented with businesses in mind when businesses needed some way to have, a way that they could write their business logic down and convert that sort of as a program itself. So if you read COBOL programs, it is like reading English. It is not like, writing C or Java kind of code where there's more hash and ampersands and dollar signs than actual readable code. It is very, very readable code, right? And so it is the heart of that online transaction that we talked about. That's what's running on that Z. It is core to business transactions. So COBOL, that's what it stands for, Common Business Oriented Language. Koma, maybe you can help with this question. I have VS Code installed beforehand. Where should I install my Node? Where should I have my Node.js? It doesn't matter where in their system because VS Code is in their D drive. Should they put it in the C drive? Is it okay?
There isn't any such restriction that you need to install it in a particular drive. Just install VS Code in the default location. That's entirely right or correct. And you can install Node.js by running a few commands based on the operating system you have. For example, if I use my terminal, I'll run the command install Node.js. And for your specific operating system, they'll definitely such a very short command and you will have Node.js installed. Or you can go to the link provided and from there you can download it. I hope that answers your question.
It doesn't matter where on your machine you keep it, right? You just have to have it installed.
Yeah. Yep.
Got it. Thank you.
I have one question too, for Sudarshana, you. We selected profile types, right? There were ZOSMF and RSC. What's the significance of profile type? I personally had that question.
So in the back end, we're talking through Zoe, and that's a good question. So let me just take a minute to talk about Zoe. Zoe is this interface, the modern interface that we're building so that when you're actually talking to the mainframe, you're still able to do it through this VS Code interface. Traditionally, when you were working with a mainframe, you would use what we used to call green screens and TSO commands, and that's all what you will learn here as well through the IBM Z Xplore challenges. But Zoe is that interface that brings in that modern look and feel and ease to talk to the mainframe. The Z Open editor is just like any other editor you might use, but it comes with syntax highlighting for COBOL, and I think Komal, you already mentioned that. So for the file type, ZOSMF is what you will use because that is again one of the ways that you use to communicate back and forth between the mainframe and this modern interface that you have up front. Yeah?
All right. Yeah, got it. Got your point. Then we were here at this step. We entered the user ID, ZID, and the password, and now we have another options. After entering your username and your password, select false. We need to select this option and just press enter for the rest of ones, and let's go with the default settings for those options. So we see here we have a profile created. I named the profile Z Xplore 2021 and here's the profile I created. Let's see what's next. Setting your filter. Mouse over the new connection you just created under datasets and click the magnifying glass next to it. So this is the connection profile connection that we created and this is the magnifying glass. Let's click over it. We need to create a new filter to fetch some data sets from the ZOS system. Type in your user ID in this window. 850. Hit enter. Search datasets, and we see here it says invalid credentials. Apparently I entered my credentials wrong, so that's an issue. Make sure you entered your ZID and password correctly. Let me do that again. C000850. It still says ensure the username and the password for Z Xplore are valid or this may lead to a lockout. How about we create a new profile? So it was saying invalid credentials, and I'm not sure why that happened because I entered the correct ones. So what I'm doing right here is creating the profile again to make sure that in case I entered anything wrong and to make sure I do it right this time. I'm just going over the previous steps that we did just now. And we see a new profile Z Xplore 2021 was created. What we did just now was to search datasets. Now we are going to set the filter. Using the ZID we have set 00850. It still says invalid credentials. Please ensure the username and password for Z Xplore 21 are valid or this may lead to a lockout. Any idea, Sudarshana, what's wrong going here?
All right. I'm not able to see the whole PDF. Can we go to 9? 1 second.
But here the thing I see is the green icon, and I believe it's an indicator of that we have connected successfully.
Yes, that is true. But when you put in your ZID, it says no data sets found.
Komal, can
So
you
what
check your
might be the
caps?
issue?
It could be the caps lock.
Now it's capital Z always. Maybe I can go with the previous ID that I had.
So if your ID and password were correct and you were able to, so when you put in your ID, it does not recognize for data sets.
Yep, but I'm putting the like both the username and password correct. Uh, Maybe I performed all of the steps like in the last session. Can that be an issue? But I created a new profile type, so it shouldn't be.
Okay, so it is a new ZID as well, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
and the new profile. Let me try for the previous one with the previous one.
Okay. I am trying to see why the data set isn't formed. Okay.
It's working with my previous ID that I used in the last session just before
So
this
let's just
one.
continue the demo with that where it works for
Yeah,
you. So not sure why the data set wasn't created this time, Komal. If you
yeah,
have another,
even
let's continue that way. Yeah.
yeah. It's working with the previous one even though we created a new profile. Not
Yeah.
sure why. So we just finished the step that's setting your filter.
Mm-hmm.
I used my user ID, the previous one, to get some data sets. Let's see what the next step is, fixing connection issues. If you get an error about invalid credentials, that's what I did, or you see a red circle next to your file name, it is possible that you typed in your username and password wrong. Simply right click on the profile you created and select an update profile. So if you face similar issues, you can always update the profile, this one, or delete it and create a new one without any errors. Let's move on to the next step. Styling and profiling. Click the plus next to the Unix system services and select the connection profile you created in step 7. We need to select this connection profile that we just created, Z Xplore 2021. Repeat the step for jobs.
Mm-hmm.
So now we have a profile within these three sections, datasets, USS, and jobs. When done, you should have connection profiles for all the three main areas of the Zo Explorer plugin. Navigate to VSC JCL. The datasets section lists all of the datasets and members which are available under your filter. So we have this datasets, and I guess we're learning about this, that what actually do we mean by dataset and members in the further challenges. So just hold on tight and let's complete two steps that we have 11 and 12th. We need to create one more filter and edit it to include ZXP. So let's go to click on this magnifying glass and create a new filter. Type in your user ID, and this time remember you will see your own user ID. Enter find dataset. Okay, well, type in your user ID comma ZXP and press enter. And there's another get data list command submitted. So we'll probably have some more data sets here. Let's see. It's in process currently. Here we are. So we got a lot of data sets for performing the challenges. Let's explore a few of them. The 11th step asks us to find the dataset labeled zxp.public.jcl. Here is it, and open up twisted triangle next to it. This one, click on this triangle, and here are some other members within it. Within there, look for a member named file named vsc.jcl. We have a lot of members within it, and the last one that we need to find is vsc.jcl. 12th step is to submit this vsc.jcl. Once you find vsc.jcl, right click on it and select submit job. Right click, submit, and here we see job submitted. Congratulations on making this big first step. It's time to celebrate, and by celebrate we mean move on to the next challenge. So we just submitted a member. Let's see, and let's move on to the Z Xplore platform. Double check to make sure your JCL was correct and submitted successfully before clicking complete. So if your JCL file was successfully submitted and you see that notification that it was submitted successfully, job submitted and the job ID, then click on challenge complete, check my JCL submission. So here we see you have completed setting up fundamentals VS Code environment. This means you submitted your JCL correctly on VS Code and the files challenge will be unlocked. So we have done the first challenge of fundamentals. Let's see what we have next. Refresh it and we'll see the files challenge has unlocked, and the VSC1 challenge must have been moved to the completed tab.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you for walking the students through, and also, okay, I'm getting an echo. Is this better?
Yeah.
Okay. I did have a couple questions here about, and the ML. So the goal here today really is to introduce all of the students who are participating here today to IBM Z and showcasing a learning opportunity to learn more about, the system that we talked about, how it impacts you every day. How do you work with it, work on it to make life like we live it today happen? So the goal here is to showcase and introduce you to opportunities to learn more about the system and about how the system works, right? As for what does Node.js have to do with machine learning? Node.js is one of the installs you need, the software you need to be able to run the learning platform challenges. All right. So we will get to the machine learning on Z Datathon, which is on the 25th. And we will talk a lot about machine learning on Z, but the operative word is we will be talking about machine learning on Z. So here we are today trying to introduce you to the concept of IBM Z and getting you familiar with some of the terms, the terminology, the platform, and getting a feel for what it means to be on it. That way it helps you somewhat and get you, kick-started and get it easy and running on the 25th at the Datathon as well. I hope that helps sort of clarify some of the questions I'm seeing here on the chat, okay? Thank you, Monica. I think you already responded to a few of the IBM Z Xplore questions. Monica is our amazing IBM Z Xplore team member, doing all of the magic in the back end. She's one of our team members who is part of the team that's put this learning opportunity together. So big shout out to that team. And thank you, Monica, for helping out with the chat here. Abhi, we have about 30 minutes. So I think good time to switch to the quiz, perhaps. So we give students 15 plus minutes to do the full quiz and such.
Absolutely,
Yeah, and
absolutely.
we had a quick introduction to the Z Xplore platform, and I believe that's like quite right to get them interested and start with the further challenges because I am interested as well to continue further.
Yeah, and then towards the end, once the quiz is over, Komal, I would love for you to talk to students about the student hub and how you got interested to becoming a Z ambassador, what it means to be a Z ambassador. You know, it's about having these opportunities at hand, right? Someone else might be interested doing what you're doing. So learning is the best way. You don't know what you don't know. So
Definitely would love to do that. Let's get over the quiz. Let's go to the quiz.
Perfect. Thank you, Govind. I think that was an exciting session. I myself got to learn a lot of things. And now let's see how much the students learn, right? So this is so we have a Kahoot where we would want you to log into Kahoot website. I think Lucas can share the website in chat, and then please enter the game pin. Please let us know when you are when you have logged in, and do send us in the chat if you have logged in.
yeah.
We will start
That'll be good.
accordingly.
I'm monitoring the chat. So students, participants, when you are in the
Yes,
Kahoot quiz, just say in or yes or
Alex.
something. I'll watch here and then we'll kick it off.
And it'll
I'll
be
let you
great if you
know.
could log in with your full names, right? Alex, Sig, D. Will be great if you could log in with your full names.
Yay. They're all
Oh,
coming
a lot.
in. Yay.
Yes.
We have a lot of students joining
Awesome.
already, and I can't wait to see the number increase.
Yes. Please, everyone, do join. We have prizes, a lot of prizes for
Yeah.
this quiz. Oh, wow.
I have to give a big shout out to shooting stars here when I get this brief moment as students are, coming in to Kahoot and getting excited about the quiz. I want to thank the shooting stars team, right? Abhi, Lata, the whole team. And Abhi and Lata have been my primary folks that I've worked with for doing bringing these students together, getting the students excited about the event, and putting this Kahoot quiz together. I know Komal is sort of the mastermind behind the questions,
Yeah,
but thanks to Shooting Stars for bringing it all together, tying it together, and making it happen here today, right? So thank
absolutely.
you, Abhi and Lata and Shooting Stars, and thank you, Komal. Big round of applause. You are amazing. You did a really nice job. You kept your cool through all the challenges of the technology and the system, debugging. That's something that's important, right? Komal, maybe you can talk to it a little bit. I want to give students more time to join the Kahoot. So I'm just sort
Yes.
of making use of this time. What do you think as a personality you would need when you come to this platform or to learn about this platform? You've done it 1 year already, you're doing it again. What keeps you coming back?
So there's actually a lot of challenges, interesting challenges that, and with the information that we won't find it anywhere on the other platform. We have these such interesting challenges, levels where we unlock further levels as we complete the previous ones, and also a student contest side by side where we can actually implement our learnings and win good cash prizes. So yeah, this is a really plus point of the whole system. You are learning and you are winning everything. You are winning good cash prizes. So before signing up on this platform, I think the curiosity to learn more, since most of the students that sign up aren't actually aware about the IBM Z skills or don't have those IBM Z skills and complete knowledge about enterprise computing. So when you sign up this platform, make sure you have that willingness to learn, curiosity to explore further, and that will to not give up when things actually get tough. Now, I was solving the initial few challenges. I faced an error, even if it was a very small one. That there was an issue between the IDs. That's because I've been doing this session like since afternoon, and I did it in the previous session as well. So I had two IDs, and probably because of that, I was facing the error. But I didn't give up on that. So you need to do the same whenever you face an error. Make sure. Thank you, Sudarshana and
Absolutely.
Abhi.
Good spirit. Yeah.
Don't be like, oh, this is an error. What do I do? Let's leave it. Let's not do it. Let's see it next time. That's not the spirit that will get you through these challenges and make you actually shine through all of this competition and learning platform. Make sure you have that spirit that when you see an error, oh, an error. Where did I do wrong? What did I do? What do I need to fix this? This kind of spirit helps you in the long run, not just in this platform but actually in life. You learn to actually solve challenges and tackle everything. So yeah, these are some things that I believe: curiosity to learn more, be there, stick to it whenever you face challenges, and keep exploring consistently, keep going through the challenges. That will actually make you learn a lot of skills, and maybe you can win the contest.
Awesome. All right.
Nice
Um,
learning. Yes.
Spot on.
Thank you.
I love how you said don't give up, right? That is the most important. If you hit an error, definitely debug, right? And the forum is there. Come to the forum, use it. The support system and the community will help you. All right, I think we will get started. It's slowed down here. Abhi, you ready to kick it
Yes.
off?
Yes. I would see we have 95 participants actively logged into the quiz. Okay. So
Awesome. Can we
I'll
hit
give
100?
15 more seconds. I'll give 15 more seconds to see if we can reach the 100 mark, or else
Exactly.
I'll start.
Yeah, come on. Everybody, just hop in on Kahoot. We're trying to hit 100 here. We're almost there, right?
Yes. We're almost there, and we also have cash prizes.
Yes, exactly.
A very exciting opportunity to implement what you have learned today.
Awesome. I think we can move ahead.
Okay, sounds good.
So you'll have 20 seconds to answer the questions. There are 12 questions, and let me hit start. In fact, this is my favorite question. Oh wow! Most of you had the right answer. Good to know. I got it wrong in my first pass. I'm moving to the next question. Congratulations, Leah, Sovet, Manjeet, Surya, Kanak.
You'll get it right if you heard Sudarshana's presentation correctly.
Oh wow! Again,
Yeah,
I think
31 of them. Yeah.
most of you were hearing it correctly. Amazing, Manjeet, Akhilesh. Let's move to the next section. Everyone has answered. The next one. Oh wow. I think the competition is going to be a tough one. Manjeet is still on top. Akhilesh is catching up. Okay, next question.
I feel I am more excited than the students participating.
I went on mute so I don't blurt out the answers.
Oh, uh, looks like Komal, you have done a very good job. I think you're getting most of the students are answering it right. Oh, Sarthak has
Actually,
got.
Sudarshana did a good job.
Yeah, both of you. Yes. Manjeet, you need to catch up. I think Sarthak just crossed you. Sarthak still on top. Akhilesh catching up. Oh, this is a tough one. Let's see who got it right. Manjeet back on top. Great. So we have six more questions. I think it's time you focus in. So Darshna, I think you did answer it a few minutes back.
Yeah, like I said, I'm on mute for a reason.
Because when you know the answers, you feel like, shouting, yeah, this is the one.
I'm glad at least all 97 students responded.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Yay! Can I say this is my personal favorite question? Cool.
That's an easy one.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Isn't it an awesome day when you learn something new?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. We have three more questions left. I think the most important questions now.
Yeah, I think I said make note of it.
Hope you noted down this number.
Yeah, and Komal was smiling at me when I said that.
Oh, yep. I think looks like
Awesome.
most of
Good
most
listening skills.
yes most of them have taken a note of it. Yep. Okay.
Awesome. Everyone's going with the answer there. Oh,
Again, let's see who's at top now.
I like how Kahoot's saying that Manjeet's on fire.
Exactly, and yeah, uh, answer streak of 10. Oh, good to know.
Yeah. I was thinking that. So I think Kahoot's thinking like I am. Manjeet's on fire here.
Last two questions.
Komal was trying to get as creative as possible with these responses here.
Oh wow!
Nice. I think by far this is the question which got the most right answers, right, Abhi?
Exactly. Yes, yes.
Good to see.
Only three wrong. Right? Manjeet again on top. Akhilesh is making a comeback. Huh. The last question.
Last question. We save the best for last.
Yes, yes. Okay, let's see what's the result. Oh wow!
Whoa, we have a new winner.
And I think it's gonna be Manjeet. Congratulations!
Congratulations. This is so awesome. Woo!
Woohoo! So I would want
Feels
all
so
five of you to
exciting.
stay. I would want all five of you to stay till the end. We'll collect your details so that we can work with you.
Yeah. Or
We have
Abhi,
top 5 winners, right?
yes.
Yes, yes.
Yep.
Abhi,
Top
perhaps you
three
can
and the
give
winner.
them your LinkedIn profile or something so they can direct message you.
Absolutely. Let me send my email ID.
Yeah. This is awesome. Congratulations, everyone, for taking the quiz. Right? It was a lot of information coming at you in 90 minutes, and we do have a few minutes here. If you have any other questions for Abhi, Komal, or myself, we're happy to take them right now. But while we're waiting for, Abhi to post his email ID for folks to be able to reach out to him, at least our winners, definitely, right? Abhi, you want the top 5 winners? You will
Yes.
looking for the
I want
top
the
five.
top five
So,
winners to yes. To send me an email. I've shared my email ID. You should get it.
yeah. So do you want to call out who the top 5 winners are on the chat so they know who they are? Because the
Yes.
two little names, I wasn't sure I could catch it. So I don't know if they know who they are. Number 4 and number
Yes.
5.
Give me a second.
Yeah,
Let me
that's fine.
let me just
Okay, but while you're
give me.
doing that, right? Komal, talk a little about the IBM Z Global Student Hub, or how you got to learn about the Global Student Hub, what encouraged you to become part of it, and how can students get involved? I mean, we have a lot of students here today. They're all getting started in their journeys. What can they do? How can they become more involved with the community and be like a Komal man?
So, IBM Z Global Student Hub, like as it sounds, is it's a global community for students like you and me, where we can connect with ourselves, connect with each other, and connect with IBMers and industry experts, and interact with them and ask them anything and everything we want to ask. So, other than that, IBM Z Global Student Hub gives us a platform to actually showcase our skills. For example, You attended today's session, and probably you learned a lot of things about enterprise computing from Sudarshana's presentation. So if you want, you can go on the Student Hub, create a discussion thread, and you can share your learnings. And that way, we have the conversation going throughout the Student Hub. Let me share my screen and actually go over the Student Hub.
And just so we sort of tie it all back together, this is that same student hub that Abhi talked about in the very beginning. For folks who did not win here during the quiz itself, remember Abhi said there were 3 more prizes that they were, shooting stars would like to give away. For that, you become a member of the Global Student Hub. And I think we'll post that link here shortly for you. And write your experience. Komal just mentioned, come write about your experience from today, what you learned, what you think of the platform, share your thoughts with the community, and post that blog link to the blog on LinkedIn. And that gives
I'll
you,
put the link to the Student Hub in chat so that it's easily accessible by the students. So once you click on the link, you will have this interface. Since you must haven't registered or logged in here on yet, you'll see here an option, login or register. Click on that and you'll have the interface to create your ID here and account here. When you do that successfully, you'll see this interface where you have blog entries, discussions, events, videos, library
Komal, are
members.
you sharing your screen?
Yeah. Can you see it? Are you not able to see it?
For some reason, I cannot.
no, I don't see your screen either. Maybe if you start sharing and
It's actually shared. Lucas, can you please make sure that it's up on the stage?
yeah, let's give Lucas a quick minute to. Yeah, when Lucas helps with bringing your screen up. Komal? Oh, there it is. There's a question about the 25th. Basically, you will start the contest on the 25th. So we'll do everything you need. You'll get everything you need starting that 25th. So we'll kick it off, and Abhi and team will share more about that soon in terms of specific timeline and all of that. So you're already on Discord over there, and I'm also there on Discord now. We can continue this conversation. But everything you need for the Datathon will be available starting the 25th of September. All right, take it away, Koma.
Yeah. So all those IBM Z student initiatives, IBM Z Xplore, there's a very interesting game, R of C coming. I think Sudarshana mentioned about that. So to stay tuned with all of the updates, this is the one place to get notified whenever there's another initiative launched, or to stay tuned about the already initiatives that you know, IBM Z Xplore, R of C. Here's where, let's go to the blog entries section. Since we have 3 more prizes, I believe for 25 US dollar, the process to win those prizes is that register on this IBM Z Global Student Hub platform. You will be able to register successfully. If not, you can reach out to me or Sudarshana. I am available at Twitter at Komalman26, and you will be able to see my username on the platform. So write a blog here. Your blog will be published on this platform. How you can publish it is by clicking this button, contribute, and you can select whatever you want to contribute. For this, for winning that prize, you need to submit a blog. So click on blog entry, and moving ahead, you will have the interface. We can write the blog and press on submit. Your blog doesn't need to be, of very long word consisting of a very in very long number of words. So it can be around 250 to 300 words, where you can summarize your learnings about what you learned from this session or maybe from IBM Z Day. your key takeaways, your learnings, feel free to mention that and submit the blog here. We'll be able to see the blog, and then you can share it on your LinkedIn, tagging Shooting Stars Foundation, because that way we'll know, the Shooting Star Foundation will know that you actually wrote the blog and submitted it. And that's the process to get the $25 prizes, and the Shooting Stars Foundation will select the best three blogs for the prizes. And
Absolutely.
if I'll go over the video section really quick. So it's a all-in-one platform to learn, to contribute, to interact with anybody and everyone you want within this community. Here you'll see a lot of videos, previous webinars. Here I am with Melissa. So you can watch the recordings, learn and upskill yourself right from the comfort of your home and right from your laptop. So yeah, that's pretty much about IBM Z Global Student Hub. See you here.
All right. Can you believe it? 90 minutes just flew by. They say time
Absolutely.
flies when you're having fun. I can't believe it.
And,
So,
and Sudarshan, I was just looking at the logs. 127 players logged into the Kahoot. So yeah, I think that is
awesome.
exciting.
That is so awesome. Way to go, participants. Thank you for playing along and being a good sport and really being here today. That's what I want to do. I want to give a big shout out to everyone who is here in this session, who's learned about IBM Z today and took the quiz, was giving your 100% and here today with us. Once again, thank you, Abhi. Thank you, Komal, for being here. Any last sort of thoughts that you'd like to share with our participants?
I would like to say thank you everyone for joining. I think this was the kickoff. We have a very interesting datathon coming on 25th. Be prepared for it. I wish you all the very best, and I'm very excited to see what all you guys develop.
Mm-hmm. Komal?
Thank you so much everyone for joining us, and the quiz results are very impressive, since most of the students actually heard your presentation and most of the answers we got them right. So yeah, that's really impressive. Yes, stay tuned on the Student Hub and see you at the Datathon on 25th of September.
Yeah, absolutely. So always remember, you don't know what you don't know. So I'm glad you were here today to learn something new about IBM Z. Continue on in your learning journey. Komal just helped you get started and kick it off for you. So come back to this recording if you need. And also on the Global Student Hub, you'll find a blog by our VP, which has a walkthrough that my colleague Monica has done. So if you need a little more help and understanding about IBM Z Xplore, you can check that out as well. But Komal's video here of walking you through the actual challenge, you can always come back and reference. The replay will be right here on this platform. So thanks, everyone. Thank you, and have a wonderful evening or rest of your
Thank
day.